Yeah, let's do that. Okay. All right, good. So we're live. So I wanted to have this interview with Miss Emily Ramondi. Is that how you say it?
Yes, sir.
And obviously Mrs. Ramondi. And I wanted to talk to you today about, I'm so inspired by your latest project that I thought it was, and it's not just this project. It just seems like they're just project after project after project. So you popped into my head today and I'm thinking, I wonder how she thinks about these things. Why does she keep coming up with these awesome ideas? So before we even dive into that, why don't you just tell us some of the things you've done over the last couple years, just briefly, what are some of the events that you've hosted, starting with the one that you were just recognized for?
So I have been doing a lot of fundraising for the Travis Roy Foundation, which is a foundation that raises money for people with spinal cord injuries. Half of the money that they raise goes towards research, and the other half goes towards people with spinal cord injuries to help them get supplies that they need.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was about 4 or 5, I'd say, I was in a car accident with my mom and my dad, who were in the car after going to hockey practice. And when we were in the ambulance, I said to my mom, like, am I going to be in a wheelchair like Travis? And that previous year we had gone to the tournament and we had won a recipe book in the raffle. And I said to Mom, we should bake cakes and we can sell them for $100. And she's like, I think $100 is a little much, but what if we find a good number? So I started baking cakes for the Travis Roy Foundation at about 5 years old, and I'm still doing that today. My bake sale has definitely increased with what we have. I do board breaking events at Mastery sometimes with Miss Rossi. I've done skating events and some other stuff. I also have done Treats for Troops, which is I started that last year, where I collect a bunch of Halloween candy that people don't like if you don't like Reese's, just bring it to the bin, and we donated it to Project Yellow Ribbon and Project Holiday Cheer, which will ship the candy to veterans overseas. I also host Toys for Tots parties every year to give toys to kids who might not have as much as me or other kids who live nearby. And then I also do, on my birthday party, I either collect toys, or what I do a lot lately is collect toys for the animal shelter or food and give it to all the animals to help them get through another year.
And recently, didn't you do some kind of reading program as well?
Yes, I forgot about that. Yes, I did a summer read-in to help kids get their summer reading done and to bring people together, no matter like what color you are, nationality, religion, all of that, just bringing everyone together on one platform to just have a good time and read.
So clearly, all of these passions are very near and dear to you. So your brain sees this concern in the world, and you think, I can help, and I'd like to do something. And so you take this idea and you put this idea together, and you come up with some solution, right? How long have you been giving away, let's say, your birthday presents at your birthday party? How old were you when you started doing that?
4, 3, 3 years old.
Yeah. So I have a 4-year-old, and I always encourage her. All right, Zoe, we have all these gifts. You don't need them all. How about we package them up and we share them with people who don't have as many gifts, and maybe brings joy to their life. And so, but you came to that conclusion on your own, which I think is extra special. And I think that, to me, like, I was thinking today, how many mastery students do this? And then I really couldn't think of anybody else, which kind of bothered me a little bit, that you definitely shine in this area. And then I was thinking, oh, we can do a blue stripe challenge. And then I was thinking, well, that's totally wrong, right? So you don't do this for any reason other than the good feeling you get from helping others. You don't do it to get rewarded. You don't do it to get some stripe or some belt. I mean, it's irrelevant to you. You do it out of the kindness of your soul. So how did you get to that place? So these are all amazing things, by the way, and I think moms are really proud. And so how did you come to the conclusion, like, this is what I want to do? Like, how do you think about, do you think about the world? You clearly do, because your reading program was about, you saw all the diversity and everybody fighting, and this, you played your role to try to bring people together. So how do you view what you see in the world to how you can, give a lending hand? What does that look like in your brain?
So the summer reading, I'll start with that. That was a harder thing to come up with the idea of, because I saw all of this going on and I really wanted to make an impact, but it's harder because of the virus. So I had to figure out a way to do it on a platform. So I sat down with my mom and we talked for a bit and we came up with the idea of just having a Zoom call and doing the summer read-in. And I kind of just sit with myself sometimes and I'll think at nighttime before I go to bed, what's going on in the world? And sometimes it makes me sad because not everything is good in the world. And I want to make it as best as I can. And I'll try and think of ideas of how I can make the world better.
Yeah, well, it's outstanding and it's impressive. So again, to me, what's impressive about it is that you're not doing it for any recognition. Most people do things because they want something out of it personally. And it seems like, to me, like, what you get out of it personally is that you can make someone feel good, or you can help the world, and that's your gift, right? So I think it's I'm watching this post again this morning. I'm like, here she is again doing it again. So I have to talk to her. But when I look at, so what we call modeling is, if somebody's getting some result in their life, if we model their structure and their thought process, we can have a similar idea, right? And so when I look at how does Emily come to the conclusion that she'd like to do something, like, how did you get there? And then you just shared that. So you think about what pains you in the world, and then you think, well, how can I help? And that's how you come up with these things. So when I think about, when we follow, or when I think about somebody that I admire, I think, well, I wonder what do they think on a daily basis to get there? And then how do they value people? How do they value time? How do they value their time? What kind of things are they reading? Who are they talking to, right? And how do they see their place in the world? And for you to already see that you have influence at your age and even earlier, and it's probably getting stronger, I'm assuming, your confidence is gonna continue to grow, and these projects are gonna get bigger for you, in my opinion. Because
Yes, sir.
in a world of, can I ask you an honest question?
Yes, sir.
Has someone ever attempted to bully you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and did you just kind of wipe it off, or were you bothered by it?
I kind of just wiped it off because honestly, it doesn't impact me. What other people's opinions are doesn't affect how I think of myself.
So
What I think of myself is what I think of myself, and it doesn't matter what Johnny has to say about it.
okay, so I'm going to tell you why that is, in my opinion. People who create, people who share, people who connect, people who support, people who design, people who build, those people are so busy giving to the world that we don't have time to deal with the maturity that may be way beneath you. And so to them, the only thing that exists in their world is, right, this 2 feet space around them, where you're already thinking about something bigger. And the other concern that we always talk about in mastery is that some of the most difficult times of someone's life are teenage years. And those teenage years are it's like a rip current. And if you aren't ready emotionally and mentally to be able to deal with some of these things that will be coming your way, then it can be very difficult. And you're already creating and doing great things in your life, so you're not affected by people who aren't doing anything in their life. So kudos to you, because I see we've helped a lot of kids, right, get off medication. We've helped a lot of kids secretly stop talking to their personal psychologist. So I have a tremendous partner in Israel. His name is Mr. Ofer Breyer. and he's created a methodology that we're incorporating into Mastery now, what we call Dojo Genius. We really haven't told many parents about it because they're not going to understand it. I mean, we're just going to show them the results is what we're going to do. That's our plan, is to teach the kids a new way so that they can see and experience the results. But we talk about when you're busy building and doing, you can't help but be on a journey of excitement and enthusiasm. So because you're learning and you're discovering, and what you're doing is you're learning, you're thinking, you're answering the question, and then you're going to implement, and then you get all this love. So how good is life when you're I don't want to use the word manufacturing, but you're creating in your own life, your own destiny early in life. And some people don't discover what you're doing until much later in life, and you're already discovering it. So I would love to see some kind of program at Mastery that more kids got involved with being a part of this. And I wonder what that looks like even for you to kind of lead it.
I mean, I think that it would be a great thing to apply to Mastery because you already have so many leaders from Mastery that it wouldn't be that hard. I think they just need someone to help guide them and to give them something as an idea and they can build off of it. Because sometimes I'll say, oh, this person did this. How can I build off of this and help make it maybe not better, but just as good, or maybe make an impact closer to me?
So Oprah calls that copy change. Copy change is when we find something that we like and then we add our own to it so that we make an improvement or make it more aligned with our principles or align with the group that we're trying to achieve. But I think it would be really an incredible add-on to Mastery, because to your point, there are many great kid leaders at Mastery and some teenagers that are growing. And if they were all having a conversation about coming up with new creative ways to help the world, I'm pretty sure that it would become a pretty successful thing. And I think that the learning that they would all experience from it would be incredible. It would take life skills to 10 times, easily 10 times, right? I mean, think about all the challenges that you face in creating a new idea and then executing it, and all the learning you get after the project is over. Like, how much do you grow after each of these projects?
It's pretty amazing because I'll learn so much from doing just one thing, and that will lead me to do something else because like when I go to the wiffle ball tournament, I always learn something new about spinal cord injuries, and I use what I learn as motivation to do something else, to make something more big of a deal and to educate other people of this is the cause, this is why it's important, and this is what you can do to help.
Yeah, it's fabulous. I mean, I didn't know the story about your car accident, but that, something as you took something that could have been negative by a lot of people and you turned it into something that might change your life forever, right? And so for me, I'm a big, what I call silver lining guy, that I can take the worst scenario and grab the smallest piece of in that moment. This is what I'm good at. And I can go, oh, now meanwhile, everything else is on fire, but I'm ignoring it because I'm like, wow, I'd never noticed that before. And I find that one thing. And then like you, I go and expand on that one thing. Now, meanwhile, the rest of it's burning and I'm just ignoring it because it's on fire. There's nothing I can do, right? But this one piece to me is so interesting. That's how Mastery has been built. I mean, we have great people, and all of our instructors, as you know, started in the program as white belts. And Mastery has been my baby before I had kids. My thinking, it's how I see the world, it's how I view the world, and we're all not going to always agree. But for me, why I love working with kids is because they're the greatest resource of our future. And so to go back to Ofer, we have this thing called artificial intelligence coming our way, which will take away a lot of jobs, like many jobs. And so my kids, including you, your mom and I compete against other humans to get a job. You're going to compete against a robot. So our thought now is that we want to change the way we teach martial arts so that we have a different programming in our mind so that we can create. Now, lucky for you, you're already there. So you're creating since you were 4. You're creating ideas and you're having these moments, and then you're carrying them out with these projects. So you're going to be fine. I'm confident in that. But the people who can't create new ideas, who've never had that simulation, and you're simulating opportunities in your mind all the time. But the greatest thing is you're taking action on them and you're helping a lot of people. So it's amazing. I would love to explore the idea with Mastery about creating some team program like this. I mean, would that be fun for you?
Yes, sir. I would love doing that.
I think getting more people like you, or people with the potential that you have, or who like what you're doing, it would just create a bigger conversation, and you now have friends that you can like throw ideas off at, and it might, you know, but it needs someone like you who's passionate about it. This is not the problem with the world is we're looking for job titles, and we don't want people with job titles. We want people with passion. Mastery is built on passion. My energy today is stronger today than it was when I'm 20. There aren't too many people who can say that about that career. So you and I are kindred spirits in that idea. And so when we seek, because I'm a seeker of knowledge, if I don't learn something new every day, I'm just, well, that's not true. I'm going to learn something every day, but I go looking for it. And the people who are seeking are the happiest people, because we realize that we're very much in control. The word control might not be a great word, but we're very much encouraging ourselves to be on the right path, if you will. And that doing what we love, and authentic, and learning and growing and sharing and connecting and building and designing. And, you know, when we're doing those things, we feel good about ourselves. And so that's where self-esteem comes from. If you noticed the other day, I asked that question on the Mastery page, didn't I?
Yes, sir.
Where does low self-esteem come from? Now that I've said all that, where do you think I think it comes from? Low self-esteem.
Low self-esteem, it comes from, for me, it comes from when you're not making yourself feel good.
Bingo! And how do you do that?
For me, it's by giving back to other people. That makes me feel great about myself.
Yeah. Doing things, right? When you do something, you feel good. If you do nothing, of course you're not going to feel good. So again, I'm proud of you, and I'm sure that your mom is proud of you. And I love the fact that you're combining the elements of martial arts and your ability to speak and lead, and then you've been doing the project since you were 4, so you've already had this connection already. You gave up something that you love very much because you figured out that it wasn't aligning with you. What was that?
Hockey.
Yeah, that must have been a pretty tough decision.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I think making these decisions, it only strengthens us as a human, and everything that you're doing right now is preparing you for the next stage of your life. That's the thing to remember. And good or bad, it doesn't matter. You're doing things that people don't do until they're 50 or 40. You're doing things that people may never do. So these experiences are really gonna set you apart for sure. So, but you know, outstanding. Mom, do you want to say anything about all this?
No, I just, I am super proud of Emily, and she has been doing this since she was 4 and 3, and you know, she has such a good heart and such a good spirit. But I do constantly thank Miss Rossi and Mastery because it is a positive environment. And much like myself, anytime Emily goes to Ms. Rossi with another idea, it's always a safe place to present the idea. And you know, Ms. Rossi always listens to Emily, hears her out, and then allows her to safely implement the idea. Whether it's going to be a success or not, who knows, but it's a good place to start. And I think, you know, setting kids up to explore opportunities in a safe way and have a really big idea. Emily always has big ideas. Like she said, you know, $100 for a cake. I never would have seen that coming, but she actually has sold a cake for $125. So I never saw that coming. And I think kids see more potential than we do as adults because they're not as jaded. So I think, you know, giving kids a little more reign and a little more freedom goes a long way, because I never would have been able to predict the summer read-in to be as big of a success as it was. You know, when she said she was going to contact celebrities, I never expected her to come back with the yellow Power Ranger. You know, and all of the other celebrities that she was able to get to go to the read-in event. Just truly impressive. And I think if we could empower children to be more like that, I think the world would definitely be a better place, instead of kind of shooting them down when they have these big ideas.
Yeah, and well, kudos to you guys for supporting her. And I agree with you. You know, sometimes some parents been there, done it, and they know it all, right? And that's the part of keeping an open mind that I think is pretty special. So I mean, again, everything that you're doing right now, I'm telling you, is going to lead you somewhere in the future much bigger than you can even imagine. So you're on the right path already, and I love how you think about, geez, what don't I like in the world, and how can I help? It sounds like that's what it is, right? What don't I like, and how can I help? What don't I like, and how can I help? What skills do I have, and how can I contribute? And I don't care how big it is. I'm just going to try. You know, and the other thing, to your mom's point, that there are plenty of successful people out there. If you reach out to them, if they believe in the cause, would love to help you all the time. They're so inspired by the younger generation stepping up. I mean, you don't see it too often. So to your mom's point, creating more of that for a younger generation, I think, is really important. It's a huge development too, something that school can never teach, and is not designed to teach either, right? It's just not designed to teach it, but to design, you know. So anyhow, what's the next project? Have you already started working on it? Can you let the cat out of the bag?
I've been definitely thinking about some new things to do. I've definitely been focusing a lot on my fundraising for the Travis Roy Foundation for next year. I don't think Mom knows this yet, but we're going to be expanding the menu.
It is always something.
But I've definitely been trying to think of more things to do.
It's fantastic. Well, let's let me give some thought. I mean, I would love to put a team of Mastery teenagers together well, it doesn't even have to be teenagers, but I think it would be an incredible opportunity, because there are lots of energy in Mastery, as you know, and I'm sure there's lots of great ideas sitting there that maybe they just need a little bit of encouragement, to your point. You know, if they see you doing some of these things, and maybe you could help them come up with the design and the execution and how to reach out to people, I think it'd be a great thing. I mean, I have this other idea too within Mastery to create this like teenage media company where they learn how to write and shoot video and take photos and interview kids about, I just see that as, I want Mastery to be about kids. You know that already, right? We only have a couple schools with adults left, and because I love the kids, I think they're our greatest asset, the greatest return on investment as far as helping them and launching their skill set, you know. And I've always said that Mastery is the other part of education, right? It's not the math, it's not the reading, it's the personal skills, the discipline, the confidence, the self-esteem, the public speaking. But now that we have OFER, you know, we're starting to incorporate pattern recognition, pattern design, and real-time composition in the way we teach martial arts. You'll see it evolve in the future. We have some great plans for it, but we're not going to be bragging to everybody what we're going to do. We're just going to show them the results. That's our intent. Well, listen, I'm proud of you. I'll keep you posted on that other project. And if you have a name for it, you know, I think I couldn't think of anybody better than you to kind of lead this project, seriously, because it comes natural to you. You enjoy it.
Yes, sir.
It's not a job. It's not a title. It's not work. It's, you know, people call the phone. They're like, do you work at the school? I go, yep. I don't ever tell them I'm the owner. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. If I can't help you, it doesn't matter what my title is. Right. And that's the sense I get from you, is that it's not about you.
Yes, sir.
It's about the good that you're doing in the world, which is awesome. Well, listen, I'm proud of you. Mom, you proud of her?
Very proud.
So thanks for being here, and thanks for being you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, let's also kick off that project. I think it would be fabulous. So, and anything we can do to help you, you know, Miss Rossi, you obviously don't be afraid to reach out to everybody on the team.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Sarah. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.